In this part of our tutorial, what we are basically going to do is to actually learn how to print out a particular sample, maybe a random row or a particular data. Because when we made use of this, let me remove this. This was what we actually did on our previous video to actually learn how to actually bring that of the pivot table instead of data frame table. So what we have learned so far is actually to make use of head.ilog. When we say .ilog, we know we are trying to actually get is an index-based type of representation to get a particular row of our choice and a particular column. But there's still another way we can actually do this by making use of what is actually called sample. With the help of this sample, we can actually generate a random row that will specify in our case. So let's say I made sample, and then inside here I say something like, so this will be sample, and then inside here I want to get 5 sample row. I can say 5 random sample row. Okay, this is not even up to 5. Okay, let me just say somewhere around 3. Let me set it to 3, and then let me run this. Let's see what we will have. Let me drag this down. Okay, as you can see, we're able to generate Peter, Moses, and then Ken. Where did our John? Remember that John was actually that of the index 2. You can see, well, yeah, that was particularly in row 2. You can see that John was actually omitted. Remember that this data that we have, I wrote here, this pandas data frame that we wrote here, was actually from our previous video. So you can check that previous video, or if you don't feel like checking, you can just write this down. There's not really much we did. We just learned how to do a new table. So you can see that I can generate. If I run this again, we shouldn't be expecting to get this exactly out, because this sample of a guy here just generate a sample amount of row for us. Okay, as we can see here, the Ken is now the guy first, followed by Peter, and then Moses. I wonder why John is not yet out, but we'll get the idea of this of our sample guide and what I actually do just to generate a particular amount of row. We set a random amount of row. We set, you can set it, if in our case, if most of our data frame was huge, we should have set it to somewhere around 100. We see that we get 100 random rows that we do not even know. Maybe you can take from 1000, maybe take from 1, take from 520 something, and then just take for pick random rows. So that this can be really useful in a scenario whereby you want to just get a overview of all your data is basically but instead of just going manually through each of them, you can just make use of this sample just to get random rows and then look at it to get, oh okay, these are data was actually presented. You can do like but when you do like sample of like 500 out of maybe 10,000 rows of data, you see 500 the way it's being sampled to randomly get all those data, in most cases it might help you to actually get a particular row that have issues, that particular row that it might help you to make a final decision. So with this, I've come to the end of this video. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I'll be happy to see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.